Look at this city. Beautiful architecture, the shiny new statues in the plaza, the massive glass skyscrapers, and they have high speed rails. It looks impressive, doesn't it? That's progress. But then you have to use the toilet, and suddenly that grand vision of civilization collapses into a terrifying, disgusting portal to hell. And guess what? That nightmare is totally your fault. Don't look at me like that. You think this is just about bad plumbing? No, the public toilet crisis is dirty, smelly, and real, guys. And we're all complicit. The first challenge is even finding one. In so many places, they simply don't exist. Perhaps they existed once, but now they are abandoned, out of order, or have become a creepy, dark home for someone. You walk into a public toilet and it's not a utility, it's a horror movie. It's like opening a door to the Twilight Zone or watching the final sinking moments of the Titanic if the ocean was made of, let's just say, a non organic matter. The smell hits you before you even see the door. A thick, heavy, unmistakable stench that tells you something died in here. And it wasn't just the plumbing. You look around and what do you see? Clogged toilets, feces smeared on the walls like some demented finger painting, and stains on the floor that look like haven't been washed since the Industrial Revolution. And the absolute nightmare of the toilet paper, it feels like a gamble with our own dignity. Will you get paper? Chances are really low. And if there is some, will you get something substantial or just a pathetic, translucent scrap that falls apart just by looking at it? Then there is the sink situation. A dripping faucet, an empty soap dispenser, and a hand dryer that is essentially just a broken piece of plastic. And the anxiety? Don't even get me started on the anxiety. You are trying to perform a basic human function and you are staring at a broken door lock, terrified that some stranger is going to walk in middle of your business because the security of the toilet is as flimsy as a house of cards. We need to talk about the math of our madness. We spend billions on monuments to our own egos. We build statues that nobody looks at and plazas that stay empty in winter. But we can't afford a working flush in the middle of downtown. It is a systemic failure of infrastructure. We have apps now, actual downloadable software dedicated to helping people find the nearest toilet. Think about that. We live in an era of artificial intelligence and space travel, yet we are out here using GPS just to find a place to pee without catching a disease. If you need a digital map to locate a basic human necessity, your urban planning is broken. And let's be real, the scarcity is intentional. You walk into these facilities and they are always under renovations or out of order. Or worse, there is a line of people stretching around the block because there is only one toilet for an entire district. It's not just a nuisance, it's a logistical nightmare that turns a simple biological need into a high stake games of endurance. And here is where it gets truly insulting, the pay to pee model. Why are we accepting this? Our tax money can pay for pointless statues, but not decent public toilets? It's ridiculous. We have free public drinking fountains, at least we should. But when it comes to the most fundamental biological necessity, everything has become a premium feature. We are turning human hygiene into a luxury item. We have privatized the very essence of being human. When you make a public toilet a paid service, you aren't just charging for paper and water. You are creating a barrier to entry. Honestly, this disgusting lack of care from the government feels like a calculated move. When you are in a desperate need of a public toilet and you are met with that undignified nightmare, the message is loud and clear. Sure, you pay your taxes, but we decide how that money is spent. And no, your basic needs aren't our priority. You want a decent toilet? Figure it out yourself. Go pay for it. Hey, at least that keeps the economy spinning, right? It's such a bold way to dodge responsibility. And seriously, are we just going to sit here and take it? Silence doesn't solve problems, it just let them fester. And it's a joke for the economy too. Every single place, no matter how small or large, is obsessed with dragging tourists in to boost the economy. Yet they can't even offer them a basic decent toilet. Do tourists fly across the world just to stay trapped in their hotel rooms? Are they supposed to stay within a 1 kilometer radius of their hotel toilet just to feel safe? And a revelation for you. The wealthy, the elite, the CEOs, they all pee, they all poo, they all have biological imperatives. You might be riding a chauffeured limousine, but you can't carry a personal porcelain potty with you everywhere you go. So don't tell me it only affects the poor or the tourists. This is bullshit. Everyone hits the street for a million different reasons. And that means everyone at some point is going to need a public toilet. So stop acting like this only affects the working class or one specific gender or age group. Face it, despite all our fancy science and technology, we still haven't invented a way to live without needing to pee or poo. Yes, you can train your body, you can discipline your bladder, but you cannot program your biology like a piece of software. You can't just coat your intestines to ignore the laws of nature while you're navigating the streets, stuck in traffic, or running errands. And if you are still in a denial mode, remember my words the next time you hit the streets and suddenly your bladder stops following the laws of your brain to take complete control of the situation. Listen to this. When we fail to provide accessible, free, and clean infrastructure, we are failing everyone. We are creating a world where dignity is something you have to unlock with your credit card. But wait, it's not just the politicians and the architects. We have a role to play too, because a public toilet is the ultimate test of the social contract. And right now, we are all failing it miserably. Miserably with a capital M. A public space relies on a silent, sacred agreement. I leave this place clean for you because I know you will leave this place clean for me. It's a fact of mutual respect. But look at what we do. We have vandals who walk in and leave a trail of destruction like they are raiding a medieval village. We have clueless commuters who treat a shared stall like their own private trash can, leaving mountains of paper towels on the floor and clogging the drains with things that definitely don't belong there. And what about the thousands of people who suddenly develop amnesia the second they walk into a public toilet? Hordes of men and women who forget to flush in public, even though they never forget to do it in the privacy of their own homes? Why is the public toilet the punching bag for all your anger and bitterness? Stop taking your frustration out on a porcelain target. Face the people actually responsible for your problems and leave our shared property as decent and usable as you found it. Seriously? Why is that people keep their toilets at home spotless, even pristine, but the moment they step into a public space, they turn into savages? It's a lack of respect for our shared humanity. We treat the public part of public toilets as it means no responsibility, and that's so wrong. And when the infrastructure fails and the social contract breaks, the consequences don't stay inside the toilet, they spew outside on the streets. We all see it, we all know it. We just don't like to say it out loud because it's unrefined. But when there are no clean, accessible, free toilets, where does the energy go? It ends up on the sidewalk. Human waste becomes a part of the urban landscape. If you don't provide infrastructure for hygiene, you are essentially inviting disease and filth into your streets. It's an economical disaster and a public health crisis wrapped in one. We talk about urban renewal and smart cities, but how smart is a city that can't manage its own waste? Is there a law? In some places, there are mandates for accessibility, but they are toothless. There is no global standard for the right to clean toilet. It's treated as an afterthought, a secondary concern, a nice to have feature. But I am telling you, it's a necessity. And why is this your fault? Because if you are a frequent user of these facilities and you don't demand hygiene and free service, your silence allows the issue to continue unfixed. Silence is never a choice when it comes to your most basic rights. If you don't use them, so you don't say a word, you are also responsible. Because sooner or later, you will need the public toilet. And if you haven't demanded better, you will only have a portal to hell as your only choice. You are risking your own health and your own dignity. At the end of the day, no one wants to find human waste on the streets when they walk around. So it's everybody's responsibility, the governments to provide it and societies to respect it. So, is it all just a lost cause? Is a clean, decent, free public toilet nothing more than utopia for sleep deprived dreamers? No, it's possible, but it requires a shift in mindset. It is a big test for all the involved parts. We need to stop treating hygiene as a luxury and start treating it as infrastructure. We need accountability for people who manage these spaces. We need a culture of respect from the people who use them. We need to demand that our taxes go toward things that actually matter, the things that keep us healthy, the things that keep us dignified. Don't let them tell you it's just a toilet. It's a litmus test for our civilization. Keep this in mind. A society is only as civilized as its public toilets. So next time you see a broken lock or neglected stall, don't just walk past it. Rant about it. Demand better. Because if we can't even handle the basics, how are we even going to handle the future? Hit the like button if you are tired of the filth. Drop a comment what is your worst public toilet horror story. And subscribe because we are not done ranting yet.
Cut!
You know what pissed me off?
Many things, but what this time?
If I'm depositing, I'm giving something for free? How the hell they're charging me for this?